All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the world's most powerful and maybe its most invisible financial network, a system that moves trillions of dollars completely in the dark.
Okay, let's just start with a number. A really, really big one. $4 trillion. That's the estimated amount of money that global crime generates every single year, from drugs, weapons, you name it.
So that leads to a huge question, right, for law enforcement all over the world. In our super high-tech, totally surveilled world, how on earth do criminals move and hide that much cash without setting off every single alarm bell in the financial system?
Well, the answer is kind of brilliant and really simple. They don't hide it at all. They use this ancient, trust-based system to make the value of the money fly across the globe, totally unseen.
So how on earth does this work? Well, to get it, we actually have to go way back. I'm talking over 1,000 years, to look at the simple, kind of elegant blueprint this whole thing is based on.
Okay, so picture this. You're in 9th century China during the Tang Dynasty, and let's say you're a tea merchant with a big problem. You've just sold your entire harvest in the capital, but now you've got this heavy bag of copper coins you have to haul all the way back home. It's dangerous. You're a walking target for robbers. So merchants came up with this genius solution. They called it fei qian, which translates to flying money. And the process itself, it was just beautiful, so simple. Our merchant gives his heavy coins to a trusted agent in the capital. He gets back a small, light piece of paper, basically an IOU. When he gets back to his hometown, he just hands that note to the agent's trusted partner there. And bam, he gets the exact same amount in local coins. The actual money never had to make that dangerous trip. So you gotta understand, this is the key point right here. This wasn't some formal bank with regulations and ledgers. It was basically magic, a powerful financial tool that ran entirely on the oldest and, you could argue, the most reliable currency there is, human trust. Okay, so fast forward to today. Let's see how that exact same logic, that same trust-based system, is being used for something, well, a lot more sinister. It's fueling global crime on a massive scale. So let's set the stage with two people who seem to have nothing in common. On one side, you've got a Mr. Chen, a wealthy guy in China who wants to buy a $2 million apartment in Miami. The problem is, China has strict rules. He can only move $50,000 out of the country. On the other side, a Mexican drug cartel. They have $2 million in dirty cash from U.S. drug sales, and they need to get that value back to Mexico. And this is where the magic happens. It's like a mirror image transaction. Mr. Chen gives his $2 million to a money broker in China. That broker calls his trusted partner in the U.S., who's already holding the cartel's $2 million in dirty cash. Then Mr. Chen's cousin just shows up to that U.S. broker with a secret code word, and the broker hands over the cartel's cash. The apartment gets bought, the cartel's money is now clean, and get this, not one single dollar actually crossed a border or hit a bank's system.
What? But wait a second. Now the brokers have a problem, right? They owe each other millions of dollars. So how do they settle up without setting off a million red flags? This is where it gets just completely absurd, because they hide these massive transfers in the totally legitimate global economy. Okay, to take care of that $2 million IOU, the broker in China, who just so happens to own an appliance company, he'll sell a big shipment of, say, refrigerators to a front company the cartel owns in Mexico. Let's say the shipment is really worth $10 million. He just writes up an invoice for $8 million. And that $2 million difference? Poof, it's gone. The debt is settled, and it all just looks like a normal, boring trade deal. But believe it or not, it gets even crazier than that. Sometimes, instead of messing with invoices for legal stuff, they use high-value illegal wildlife products. They literally treat them like gold bars to balance the books. I mean, just look at the insane value of this stuff. We're talking about the dried swim bladder of an endangered fish, the totoaba. Per kilogram, it can be worth more than cocaine. That is not a typo. Cartels and Chinese traffickers are literally using fish bladders, they call it the cocaine of the sea, to settle debts worth millions. Okay, so if this is all happening on this massive scale, with kitchen appliances and fish guts moving all over the world, why can't our super sophisticated high-tech surveillance systems see any of it and just shut it down? The reason is actually painfully simple. All of our surveillance, it's built to do one thing: follow the money. It's designed to track wire transfers, spot weird bank deposits. But in this system, the money doesn't actually move.
The value just gets transferred based on a phone call, a code word, an encrypted chat. There's literally no digital trail for some fancy AI to find. And this, right here, shows you the problem. As former U.S. intelligence officer John Cassara says, AI isn't going to crack this. You can't fight a network built on trust with an algorithm. The only way in is the old school way, with actual human beings, undercover spies who can get inside these networks and earn that same exact trust.
So where does this leave us? What's the future for this ancient and, let's face it, incredibly tough system? Is it basically an unbreakable feature of our modern world? Well, here's the really scary part. The core of this whole thing, it's still super low tech, right? It's just human relationships. But now it's getting supercharged by modern tech. Encrypted apps make their conversations instant and totally secure, and when you pair that trust network with something like cryptocurrency, well, you get a system that's, and I'm quoting an investigator here, almost unbreakable from the outside.
So I guess the big question to leave you with is this. As we build all this incredible technology to watch every single digital footprint, are the most powerful financial transactions in the world happening completely offline? Are they running on a currency that technology can't see, can't measure, and maybe can never, ever crack? And that currency is just simple human trust.